Hello, everybody. Nice to see everyone here.
Hello, kid. Can you hear me? This is Mehmet.
Yes.
Okay,
Very,
great.
yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you
Did
very
you have a
much.
good, did you have a good trip?
Yeah, it was a good trip, exciting trip, but I came back with a cold, so probably you can hear my nasal sound, but I'm getting better.
I'm glad. It seems like the past few years, everyone has that sound. It's good when we all get through it and get to the other side. It's good.
Listen, before we start, I have some slides, as I said, I'm just gonna share with, right, with my slides. Do I have to send it to?
Perfect.
Okay.
You don't have to. No, I can turn over, I can make you a co-host somehow. Let's see. Uh, Make co-host. There we go.
Can I try it if it works?
Good idea.
Uh, hot, but it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Uh-oh. Do you have two IDs up live?
Yeah,
I
I have
just,
two of
I
them
see.
because just in case my desktop computer is a little flaky occasionally, so I also logged in with my laptop.
Okay, so try it now.
Okay.
Is it working now?
Uh, you'll tell me.
Yay! It looks good.
It's working, right? Good.
Yes, perfect.
And now how do I stop sharing?
Ha!
Oh,
Good
here.
question. Okay.
Got it.
Yes. It's a learning experience each time we do these things.
I mean, there are so many different these kind of tools.
And every day they seem to update their features.
That's true. That's true.
When we're going to have our presentation, or when people are speaking, when speakers are speaking, I'm hoping that at some point we'll have a lively discussion, participatory, just like people will ask questions and so
Mhm.
forth. But I think maybe there's like a little bit where slides will be presented, and we'll hope that we'll give the speakers a little bit of, time to do that part of their presentation. And there's some feedback coming, I think. Hmm. Mark, you're here? Good. I'm going to make you a co-host also for when you want to share your slides. So, so I'm hoping that we'll begin with Mark's talk. He'll talk about the Move project, and then we'll have a few questions at the end of Mark's talk, and then we'll move over to Professor Ulema's talk. Does that sound good to everybody? Professor Ulema, is that okay with you? Uh-oh, we've lost voices. I can't hear anyone. There's a chat going on. I have to mute all the other attendees. I see. It'll be difficult for me to see who's asking questions unless they come to the top. I have a feeling we've been muted. Hey,
Hey,
Jacob, how are you? You joined us. That's excellent.
managed to connect.
Excellent. I'm so glad.
I wasn't sure because with the calendar or whatever. Yeah, I got connected.
Good.
So you don't have video. I am not in a video.
You popped up for a second and then you went away.
Oh, okay. So that was my connect phone.
Yep.
Okay.
There you are. I can see you now.
All right. Very good. So
Somehow you're presenting. You're in presentation mode. I don't know why.
no, how do I turn it off?
I don't know.
Presentation mode. You are the
Yeah. It's very,
Or the ruler, so you should
I
be able to
don't know. Perhaps
start
Mark is
with-
here, right? It's, I could begin a presentation and see how that works. If that will,
So, I'm not able to unmute my main desktop. I'm able to unmute my laptop.
Is anyone seeing my slides at the moment?
slides?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I see some trajectories.
I'm going to stop your video because I can't, Jacob, I'm going to stop your video because I can't seem to, unless I can make you co-host and then you can make choices that will be helpful.
I'll mute myself,
Okay.
and that will make it easy.
I don't see the slides either, Jordy. Thanks for letting us know. All right, so now let me see if I can share my, I'm going to share my, what do you think? Are we seeing my slides yet?
Yes.
Keep in mind,
we can
okay,
see,
good.
we can
Yes.
see your slides. I can
Yes,
see
I
your
can
slides
see it.
at least.
Perfect. Oh, that's Victor. Hi, welcome,
Yes.
Victor.
Thank you so
Hello.
much.
Yes.
And I wanted to say hello to everyone on the video link. It's a pleasure to join you all tonight. And I guess today is a special day. I was today just reading Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail, which was a very profound letter indeed. So it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm all ears and listening.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us tonight and being one of the hosts, the host. And I would like to now introduce our speakers for this evening who will help us to understand more about volunteering, how IEEE community members are volunteering, some of the great programs you can become involved with. One of them, Mark Torres will speak with us about is the MOVE Community Outreach, and Professor Mehmet Ulema from Manhattan University will be speaking with us about the public safety technology project through IEEE. I'd like to just briefly present a bio of Mark Torres, and I will share this bio with everyone at the end when we have a bit of time. And then I have a brief bio here of Professor Ulema from Manhattan College. And then I will turn over the presentation to Mark at the moment. Mark, are you able to share your slides? Mark, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Mark, are you there? You can't unmute. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. All right. I've made you co-host. Is someone else muting people by any chance? Uh-oh.
Keith,
Not
send
able
him
to.
a text. Maybe he will get that.
Yeah, I think he can
Text
hear
message.
us.
Kit, if you want, I can go ahead first and me until.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful. You're able to share? Professor Ulema, are you able to share?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Sure.
Okay. You see it, right?
Yes.
You can see my slide. Hello, everyone. My name is Mehmet Ulema. I'm a professor at Manhattan College in New York. I am also the co-chair of the IEEE initiative on public safety technologies. This is part of the IEEE Future Directions Committee. As some of you may know, FDC is the home for many IEEE initiatives on emerging technologies, such as blockchain, digital reality, quantum computing, and so on. Maybe I can turn off my my camera too, right? So that they can see me.
Good idea.
How do I do that? So when you are in the presentation mode, somehow the things are hidden.
Yes, it's
So
very
yeah,
challenging. I can't see anything anyone else is doing.
yeah, I
So,
don't know. So I guess we're gonna go ahead without seeing me talking. Okay.
all
So
right.
sorry about that. So there's a little technical difficulty. Okay, I will start with a very short introduction to public safety space, just in case you are not familiar with it. Then I will talk about the IEEE Public Safety Technology Initiative and its activities. Then I will discuss some of the technologies that are used in public safety applications, especially the ones that are our initial focus of our initiative. I will also talk about briefly the standardization aspects. I will end my talk with a set of concluding statements. Just to let you know, this slide deck that I'm using today has a lot of more slides on technologies that I can cover possibly today, but I will make these slides available to you. I will send my file to Kit, so I guess she'll distribute it to whoever wants to. That way you have a complete picture of what we're trying to do in this initiative, hoping that you can join our initiative to participate in the areas that you may be interested in. So with that, what is this? Okay, so a short primer. Let's start with a short introduction to the public safety space, so that we all have a common understanding, since this area is often misunderstood or misinterpreted occasionally. Essentially, it's so simple. Basically, public safety is an area that includes everything that are done about preserving life, property, and environment. Public safety technologies include any technology that is used by public safety personnel to save people and property and environment, including those technologies used to ensure the sustained health and wellness of the public safety personnel. Public safety sector is really big and may be viewed in few different segments. There are government public safety agencies, entities at the local levels, like a police force and fire department and a first aid, etc. Then at the federal level in the United States, we have the CIA, FBI, Homeland Security, and so on. And this sector also includes the suppliers, manufacturers, and service providers like AT&T, for example. Commercial public safety departments are common in many colleges, universities, and large organizational campuses as well. They all have public safety departments. And also in this sector, we should include associations like EPCO, for example, Association for Police Communication Officers, and NGOs like Red Cross, for example, and a number of others as part of the stakeholders here. The mission areas of the public safety are listed here on the slide as prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery. I will provide a little bit more details on the next slide here. And it's a lot of information here. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of these, but basically prevention has to do with the increasing awareness and readiness levels. Protection mission has to do with detecting and identifying threats. And mitigation mission has to do with improving situational awareness and enabling decision-making. And response mission has to do with the saving lives, property, and environment during and after an incident. Recovery, as the name implies, has to do with all those things involved in planning, tactics, and operations before and after an event, which takes usually a number of years. So the importance and emphasis of these mission areas depends on the types of public safety use cases. For example, some mission area may be more important for, let's say, chemical threats, but some mission areas may be important for disaster recovery, earthquakes, and so on. It turns out, let's talk about the economy, how the public safety, the things that we do in public safety impact the economy. It turns out it has an enormous impact on the economy. A study done by highly reputable—
1 minute improvement in response time translates to a reduction of 8% in mortality.
Excuse me, there is a question. Hello?
I couldn't tell if that was a question or if that was someone that came off of mute, perhaps.
Okay. But anyway, let me take the questions after I finish my talk so that, otherwise we can be here for a number of hours. So a study done by this London School of Economics researchers about 10 years ago determined that reducing the response time by the first responder has a significant impact on saving lives. You see this on the slide, that 1 minute reduction in these response time, the mortality can be reduced by 8%, not to mention the significant reduction in crime and cost of relevant spending related to that. On the negative side, this study shows that for every murder, there's a significant impact on the welfare of the cities. For example, one murder causes 70 people leaving the city over time due to decline in housing, reputation, and quality of life issues in that city. The same study also compared the use of a 20 megahertz spectrum in the 700 megahertz range for public safety networks versus commercial use. In other words, should I use it for public safety network or should I auction it for commercial service providers? So it turns out the expected revenue from auctioning the spectrum band is estimated to bring about 4 billion euros. This study was done about 10 years ago, of course. So whereas using the same spectrum for public safety networks will have about 34 billion euros worth of socioeconomic benefits annually. So 4 billion one time, 34 billion annually. It's a big mind-boggling difference. But anyway, this is a big market. According to recent estimate, the size of public safety market to be around 700 billion by 2026. So it's a tremendous impact. IEEE Public Safety Technology Initiative. Let me just talk about that one now a little bit. So our vision when we put together this initiative was to make, still is, to make IEEE a major player in the public safety space by establishing a global center of excellence, a go-to place, a hub, a platform, if you will, for all the public safety stakeholders to collaborate in advancing technologies to help public safety personnel to be more effective in saving lives. So our strategies for achieving this vision includes study and identify how the technologies can be used, enhanced for public safety applications, identify and study again and emerging technologies that can be used public safety, establish some product line services such as conferences, publications, standards, training, education, and so on, and also bring together and collaborate with all the public safety stakeholders that I mentioned before, including the agencies, government, and otherwise. So to carry out our activities in an efficient manner, we established a structure with two primary components. One, technical committees, which are responsible for creating and developing contents for our initiative. And the other component is operational committees, which are responsible for disseminating the content created by technical committees. As you can see, technical committees here, smart algorithms, et cetera, and operational committees on conferences, standards, and so on. So we have about 10 committees like this you see on the screen. These areas, of the content creation and content dissemination areas are supported by the general co-chairs, as you can see with Carolyn, myself, and Doug Zuckerman, and supported by FDC staff, Kathy and Catherine. So as you also see that this program is supported by many IEEE societies and programs, including the MOVE program that Tom is going to speak soon, hopefully. So let me just talk about some of the activities. Okay, summary of activities. So we've been busy for the past several years, but 2 years actually, so a variety of activities. As far as developing new workshops and events are concerned, so our testbed technical committee organized a workshop in IEEE IoT Week in May last year. Our biotechnology committee hosted a symposium at the EMBC 2023 in July last year. Our cybersecurity committee organized a workshop in the Future Network World Forum, November last year. And we are organizing and moderating, participating in a number of panels, including this one, I guess, and several other conferences, including the Black CCOM, CCNC that we just had it last week, actually in Las Vegas. And we are planning another panel in ICC 2024 in June. We are also currently in the middle of a flurry of activities to organize a World Forum on public safety. This will be our first World Forum on public safety technologies that will take place in May in Washington, D.C. area. This World Forum will have a technical component as well as industry component, including exhibitions. Please join us at this World Forum in May this year. Briefly, as far as our activities in generating contents like publications are concerned, we have a highly referenced white paper published a couple of years ago. We have a number of white papers are being planned by our technical committees. 5 of them are near completion: the blockchain, the communication, networking, informatics, and so on. For the branding purposes, they will all use the same format. Same design, same cover page. We are also in the process of organizing special issues in IEEE Communication Magazine, as well as JSAC and IoT journals. We are also working on a proposal to create a new IEEE publication on public safety technologies. And we are also working very hard, increasing our visibility and supporting committees' participations. We created professional-looking web pages for each technical committee. Our standard committee is in the process of producing landscape analyses. We are on the look to create new technical committees. For example, we recently added a technical committee on software-defined systems for public safety technologies. We are also pursuing strategic partnership with more societies and council within IEEE. So I just want to talk about this white paper that I mentioned. I just want to take a few minutes because this is the white paper that started the whole initiative, actually. As you can see, there are 6 chapters in this one. Chapter 4 is the heart of the white paper, where a lot of work went into it. We selected 8 use cases to study in depth. These use cases, as you can see on the slide: forest fire, earthquakes, hurricanes, emergency medical services, and etc. For each use case, we identify some scenarios related to the mission areas like prevention and protection. And for each scenario, we investigated technologies that currently used for that scenario and identified the opportune technologies. By opportune technologies, I mean any currently used technology that needs enhancements or any emerging technologies that are not currently used for that scenario. So chapter 5 basically provides an analysis, gap analysis for these opportune technologies. And we identified about 20 of them. Then we made a ranking of these and we selected top 5 technologies to work on further initially. And let me just say a few words about these 5 technologies that we selected. By the way, all these technologies, again, are being used today to a certain degree. But the current use actually turned out is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of areas that can be taken advantage of public safety technology applications. And just briefly, we have the smart algorithms here on the first one called data. We use this name to refer to AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, analytics-based algorithms. These are basically the backbone of almost any other technologies that are going to be used or being used for public safety applications. And communication networking, again, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, satellite, these are used to a certain extent today with a number of narrowband technologies such as, P25 or Tetra. These are so-called LMR, even some analog communication technologies. But obviously, public safety networks, public safety agencies need a little bit more advanced, more the capacity, more powerful technologies, communication technologies like 6G, maybe sensor, IoT, vehicle to vehicle, etc. Interoperability has been a major issue, which needs to be addressed in an effective way in communication and networking. Software security, reliance on software on our daily lives, as well as infrastructure, society, business, government, have been increasing exponentially, as we all know. Even though cybersecurity has been a great concern for a while, but it's even more concerning now, which requires closer attention to prevent, detect, and restore as quickly as possible to minimize the negative impact on our infrastructure, in our lives, and so on. So another area was the biotechnology, DNA, biometric monitoring. This also is gaining significant attention in the public safety space, and it will continue even more significantly. For example, new DNA-based analyses and prediction for identifying physical traits will be in great demand in many public safety applications. And finally, let me just say a few words of blockchain. There have been a number of projects already to use the blockchain technology in disaster recovery to provide transparent and immutable records to facilitate the management of resources during and after the disasters. But we believe that there is an enormous opportunity here to investigate and even identify how more and more public safety agencies at all levels can be used the blockchain and regarding safekeeping and using their data. So I'm going to skip the next several slides. Again, these are based on some technologies. I will let you to look at those and so that you have a complete picture. But before I finish my talk, I just want to say a few words about the standards here. Standardization of emerging technologies is in general, not necessarily public safety, in general is important. However, unfortunately, the standardization of emerging technologies typically takes place when the technologies become more mature, That's where the standards get into picture traditionally. However, this traditional approach delays the adoption and the use of technologies in an interoperable way by the users, in our case, public safety agencies, to save lives, right? In ComSoc, Communication Society, which is my home society, we developed an ecosystem for standardization of emerging technologies by establishing basically partnership on, as you can see on the slide, on the right, IEEE Future Directions Initiatives, on the left, IEEE Societies, on the top, you have IEEE Standard Association, and at the bottom, the various industry and academic alliances. So combining all these forces, we were able to successfully create a number of successful projects, standard projects in ComSoc. So I think this kind of projects participated by a number of academic and industry researchers as well. So I think this will be the way to go in the standardization of public safety technologies, especially emerging technologies. So I think I'm taking too much time, but let me just conclude by saying that public safety is a global challenge. It's a cross-disciplinary, and our initiative has identified significant gaps in the use of several technologies for public safety applications. And it is proven that information and communication technologies save lives. And these technologies, by the way, are complementary in nature. Public safety solutions should integrate these technologies to help the public safety personnel to be more effective. Finally, I think IEEE is uniquely positioned to become a universal center of excellence for all the stakeholders in the public safety space to exchange ideas on how the technologies can help public safety personnel to be more effective in saving lives, properties, and environment. And the reason we are saying is that IEEE actually has a lot of IP in this area, standards, publication, and so on. But the problem is they are all scattered. So hopefully our initiative will do a great job in somehow providing the center of excellence. So one last slide that I'm going to use this. We are our initiative, our co-chairs and people involved in IEEE initiative, public safety technology initiative. It's a mouthful. So we are inviting you to join our initiative and participate in our activities, participate in our technical and operational committees. There are a lot of exciting areas. Especially, we are inviting to attend our inaugural World Forum on Public Safety Technologies in May, Washington, D.C. Thank you
You've
so much.
convinced me. You've convinced me. No, thank you. This is really wonderful. I'm really glad that you have this slide that everyone can spend a couple minutes taking notes about how they can become involved. Do you have local meetings? Do you have online meetings? Do you have activities between now and the May conference that people can participate in?
So we have all kinds of meetings for technical committees, meet almost every month. Operational committees meet every month. For this forum, we established an organizing committee. So that's kind of running on its own. And so we had the technical part. We have about 70, 80 submissions for the papers. We are in the process of reviewing them. And we also have a industry forum part, which will have all kinds of panels and exhibitions and so on. So yeah, we have all kinds of meetings, and you are all welcome to participate. And you just send me the names. I can ask Kathy to put you on our distribution list so that you can join us.
Sounds excellent. Does anyone have any questions to ask? Keeping in mind, we can't see anything here. If you're raising your hand, we can't see it.
So let me stop sharing, maybe.
Okay, that might help. All right. So I wanted to thank you very much for jumping in out of order there. That was very helpful. Hopefully, it also gives a great background for the move, since you mentioned move during your talk. Have you interacted with the move project at all?
Yes, yes, of course. We interact with the move. They are our partners, and Grayson and others are our partners in this business as well. Yeah, we are in touch with them, of course.
Excellent. Does anyone have a question that we could ask of Professor Ulema? Grayson, perhaps you have something to say?
Can Grayson unmute? I don't know whether you can or not.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, perhaps we can turn the talk over to Mark at the moment. Mark, are you able to share at the moment?
I believe I am. I'm going to try
Excellent.
to. And before I do anything, I'm going to apologize for the fact that I've had a horrible case of bronchitis, and it comes and goes. And I'm tried to take enough Benadryl to hopefully counteract it for the next 30 minutes or so. What I'm going to present, and let me see if this is going to work. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've
Yay.
got my MacBook running so I can see what's happening in the other side. So, it's one of those things where you just really feel kind of like you're blind trying to do this without multiple monitors. So what I wanted to talk with you about is I'm actually kind of glad for the way this thing happened, so that I'm second, because it is Kat said, this is a fantastic introduction for what the MOVE program is about. And what I want to start with is this presentation was developed as a 5-minute Ignite presentation. I'm going to take a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but I'm going to try to squeeze it down as much as possible and get the meat of the presentation out to you, and then we can have some time to talk later. MOVE stands for Mobile Outreach Using Volunteer Engagement. So there's two thoughts in that name. The outreach component, where we're talking about responding to disasters, and then the volunteer engagement, where our volunteers and IEEE members are volunteering and engaging with this program. So it's a huge program from that standpoint.
Mark, can I interrupt you for a moment? It seems
Yep.
we're having a technical difficulty that made it impossible for anyone else to ask some questions. And I've been called and texted and messaged, and people are concerned. So somehow everyone is muted. So one or the other of us who has muting abilities needs to either lose the, let's see. Professor Ulema, are you able to unmute everyone?
I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. I can go to participants, I guess. Yeah, I can mute all of them. You want me to do that?
I want you to unmute everyone.
Unmute everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
Somehow someone else has muted everyone, and I don't know who did it because I didn't do it.
Mute.
Ken,
I
it looks
can
like maybe
ask all
people
to
can unmute
unmute.
now.
Okay. I'm
Oh, good,
unmuted now.
Victor. Oh, great. Because Victor had a question, and people have been
Yes.
reaching out to me. Okay.
So I'll ask it after this presentation, so that after this presentation, we can all ask the questions to the two speakers.
Perfect. That sounds great. Thank
Okay.
you so much for your patience with this small technical difficulty. Mark, the floor is yours again. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Thought that, okay, it's acting kind of flaky, but it seems to be working okay. Let's see, where is my screen? Oh, nope, that's not it. Where is my presentation? Oh, well, it's showing up on the screen. And so I'll just move forward based on that. So with that said, the main thing that we're looking at from the standpoint of move is the fact that the move program, well, that's not what I wanted to show either. What's going on here? Hang on, bear with me for a second. Why am I having? Oh, wait, now I see it. It flipped over to another screen. That's don't you just love it when a plan comes together?
I do. I love it when a
Maybe
plan
this will
comes
work.
together. All right. Would you like, would you,
I'm getting there. Why is this doing this to me? Hang on, let me try this.
Maybe he can send his slides to Kit, and then Kit,
Yes.
you can share
yeah,
them.
because I have some slides you did send me.
Okay. Let's see.
But yeah, if you send me your slides, I can show them.
Let me try this. Did that work?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Wonderful.
Now, so where I was going with that, and I'm hoping that this will work. So in talking about MOVE and the fact that the mission of IEEE is advancing technology for humanity, MOVE is a direct link back to the mission. I mean, that's the main thing we're doing. Two things we're trying to accomplish with MOVE is one, being able to assist people in a disaster situation with our partners like the Red Cross, and also in this area of STEM. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about, is how this fits in. So from the standpoint of community outreach, we have the opportunity to do emergency relief programs with our partners related to short-term communications and power solutions, but we also have the STEM outreach. And we have the public visibility from the standpoint of meeting people at universities, at other science events, to be able to carry forward the STEM programs. And it is a member engagement. We have over 300 MOVE volunteers, and it's 100% run by volunteers and 100% funded by donations. Now, a lot of those donations do come from society. So I want y'all to recognize it's not just individuals that are making those donations, but it's a lot of IEEE entities that help us with those donations. The picture on the side shows the two MOVE trucks. The black MOVE truck on the left, excuse me, the right, is based in Raleigh-Durham. The white truck on the left is based in San Diego. So we have the East and West Coast covered from that standpoint of the United States. The thing that I want to talk about, and I'm hoping this slide will work, this is the type of things that we respond to: hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, fires, earthquakes. And this is the result of those events. They basically leave total devastation in their wake, and MOVE responds to provide vital services to the public and the Red Cross. So that's really the focus of some of the things that we do from the standpoint of responding to natural disasters. But you have to look at it deeper from the standpoint of saying, okay, well, wait, power outages. What are you talking about? You're talking about disruption of communications, water transport. You're talking about closed retail businesses. People cannot go out. They can't go to the grocery store. They can't go to banks or other services. You have spoiled food, water contamination, and a biggie is medical devices. medical devices require power. If you don't have power, then you've got a lot of people who are getting into serious trouble with medical devices because they generally will not run for very long without a separate source of power. From the standpoint of communications, you've got dead cell phones, computers, no way to reach police, fire, emergency, medical. You've got no internet, no way to communicate. You've got cell towers on the ground that'll take weeks or months to replace. Now then, thank goodness, our current technology allows us to bring cows into a disaster area, and those allow communication to be restored in relatively short period of time of days or maybe weeks. So that's the helpful thing from the standpoint of current technology, but those technologies do require backhaul, which may have been totally destroyed. So what happens is that the move truck and the move volunteers arrive and assist the Red Cross at Red Cross shelters and other disaster response operations, providing network internet access to the first responders so that they have the ability to go ahead and begin working with victims of the disaster. Now then, what that means is that we are in a position from the standpoint of having a generator and of having communications capabilities, providing what they need to get up and running. And then we also provide battery packs to the victims, give them a battery pack so that they can charge their phone and then take the battery pack with them and be able to keep it operational for a little bit longer than normal. The other thing is that a lot of times we will go with Red Cross out to remote locations and stand up a temporary shelter or a temporary location where they can work with the victims of the disaster. I know we did that in one of the storms down in Louisiana, and every day the truck went out with Red Cross and was able to set up a temporary location at the end of those roads and provide relief to those folks that were affected by the disaster. This is kind of gives you a perspective about what MOVE has done over the past years, and we've responded to 35 relief operations. I was on the tornado relief operation in Mississippi last year. Grayson was on the Hurricane Idalia and also the Hurricane Lee response. But you can see some of the types of things that we've been involved with. Tornadoes, floods, fires, all of those that we were talking about earlier have been things that we've worked with our first responder partners to help victims with and help resolve or begin the recovery process. So this is just there's so many slides I could show, and Grayson has a whole portfolio of photos that he would normally show during this part of the presentation, but we don't have enough time for that. And what I want to say here is that this is a student. He was worried about how he was doing on his grades, and so he came up connected to the power on the outside and was able to connect to Wi-Fi and check his grades. And then this seems kind of small, but it really is a huge thing. The move truck has scene lights outside, so we turned the scene lights on, and that way the victims of the disaster or first responders had a safe place to go to shower, restrooms during the night when they got finished with all the work they had to do. It's just a small thing to look at from the standpoint of exactly some of the things that you may never think about otherwise. At some point in time, you transition back to sunny days, and what Red Cross calls that is blue sky. Gray sky is when you're in the middle of responding to a disaster. But the Red Cross shelter will empty out and the truck heads home. So these are just kind of a graphic to give you all an understanding of we move off of the disaster response and we move on to STEM. So STEM is the area where we really spend a significant amount of our time because we're not deployed on disasters, but a small portion of the year, 2 to 3 months probably is standard for a given year. But we've in 2023 we supported 21 events, board series, PES Grid in San Diego, Puerto Rico radio test activities, Red Cross training in New Jersey, just to name a few. So that's kind of our wheelhouse from standpoint of STEM, the second mission of the MOVE program. And this just gives an idea of some of the things that we put forward to the folks attending a STEM event. It gives us a graphic to explain to kids exactly what they're going to see. And we also have activity books that we can give them to give them a little bit of a way of working on STEM activities after they leave the truck. One of the latest things that we've done is a backpack, and these backpacks contain all kinds of activities and are able to, give in a carry away item, something that teachers can use in their classrooms when they're back in class. From the standpoint of current status, MOVE has gone global. We now have a team in Puerto Rico, and we also have a team in India. The India Council is working on STEM activities, while the Puerto Rico team, we do have them under the American Red Cross agreement, so we can work very easily with the Puerto Rico team, and working with them on modular MOVE and on a couple of other radio technologies to try to assist with the communications outages and things of that nature. When it comes to the MOVE activities, this is just a graphic that we use during our STEM activities to show some of the areas that we work with. And then we also have a virtual tour of the MOVE truck. It's the white truck that the virtual tour is of. If you're quick enough and you want to scan that QR code, you could go on a virtual tour of the truck and be able to see some of the equipment things that we have inside. From the standpoint of MOVE, if you want to join, and you have to look at this close, join the movement. Okay, right? So join the movement, and you can be a part of the disaster response team. You can help with STEM and visibility events. We have about 80 people that are part of our amateur radio club. They're very active in helping not only during deployments, but also in demonstrations with schools and things around technology. We also have a communications team, a maintenance team that works on the truck, keeps it operational, and a weather team that helps us during deployments so that we know what the current environment is in the local area. Again, I want to focus on the fact that if you would like to sign up, you can use the QR code to sign up to either the IEEE-USA MOVE or to the international MOVE. You can also donate to the USA Fund, and both of these go to the foundation or the International MOVE Fund. So those are my what do you call it? Public service announcements or something. But anyway, that's the area that we want to look at as far as getting you engaged with MOVE or getting you to financially support us. This is out of date, but I left the slide in here just to make a point. We have monthly tech talks. We have 2 MOVE operations class planned for this year, and we also have 2 driver's classes that are scheduled for this year or planned for. And we also have a Red Cross disaster service technology class that we hold once a year. So there's all kinds of training opportunities with MOVE, and those touch upon everything from flight aware is one we had last year. We also had the Artemis mission to Mars was one of our programs. They don't just deal with MOVE, but they do deal with technology and a lot of the technology aspects of MOVE. The flight aware, then they want us to put a flight aware receiver on the MOVE truck so that we would have that available to them during a deployment. That really concludes most of my comments and then a few extra ones. But you can see here, this is a map of the deployments. We deployed primarily on the eastern and southern part of the United States in the Gulf and along the Atlantic seaboard. The Kentucky events were tornadoes and fires and floods in Kentucky. And then, of course, we did respond to some events out on the West Coast. We have the events that we responded to in Puerto Rico, and then also in India. So India is just getting off the ground. Puerto Rico is well on their way to being very well established, is I guess the best way to put it. So that concludes my presentation. I will stop
Excellent.
sharing, and hopefully this will, let's see, how do I stop sharing?
Good question, but thank you very much. Let's take questions from
found
people.
it.
Excellent,
Okay.
thank you. Let's take some questions from people. Thank you very much, speakers, for today. I really like how those two topics fit very nicely together. And I'm really grateful that people are interested in volunteering and how IEEE people volunteer in their everyday life, in addition to being members and benefiting from being members and participating in many ways. Volunteering in the community is also a really big thing for volunteering, and especially on Martin Luther King Day, to think about being part of our community, participating in these important activities. So does someone have a question or a comment for our speakers or for this discussion? Is everyone able to unmute and speak?
Kit, this is Mehmet. Now you thanked us, but we also want to thank you for organizing, and Victor. Hi, Victor. Nice talking to you.
He's still muted. He can't get unmuted. So everyone who has
But
the potential.
he can hear me.
Yeah,
So
but we need to unmute him. Can someone please unmute whoever it is that's got capabilities to mute people has done it, and I would really love it if let me make
I am
Victor.
unmuted now.
Excellent, wonderful.
So I have a number of questions. I guess I'll start with the last talk, Mark. Mark, how much do these buses cost?
Okay,
And what are in the buses? Yes, and what is the total cost of a bus?
It depends on whether you want to talk about what we've had to incur, or whether you want to talk about the actual total cost of replacement. Cisco has donated the vehicle and the equipment. And so from that standpoint, our additional costs for the two trucks has been minimal. We did outright purchase the first truck, but the second truck was fully donated by Cisco, and Cisco has refreshed the networking gear in for 3 vehicles last year, or the year before. I forget when exactly the equipment arrived, but we get substantial donations in kind from Cisco. I would say, if I had to guess, I would say that the vehicles are probably worth somewhere in between $300,000 and $400,000, and that includes $100,000 worth of Cisco network gear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a second question too, and the second question is, how closely do you work with the service providers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, etc.? Because in times of disasters, they also have their their switches and things that they bring to the premises.
I want to make sure that it's clear. The communications capabilities that we bring are internet. We don't do anything from the standpoint of like provisioning of cell service off the truck. What we're doing is providing internet into the shelters via satellite and Starlink. And so
you are using satellite.
Yes, we're using satellite.
Okay.
So when we go in, if we have access to cell network, we have FirstNet from AT&T.
So you become a temporary ISP.
AT&T. And what we do is basically we provide, because we're first responders and Red Cross is first responder, we can use the AT&T FirstNet. We can't let the public on AT&T FirstNet. So that's where we use the satellite, because we can provide internet access for email, texting, but we block all high bandwidth things like videos and that type of thing. But the communications aspect of what we do is basically to allow people to communicate through mail or text, and then to allow Red Cross to communicate back to the Red Cross systems so that they can process the details around the claims by the victims of the disaster and work on the cases around providing relief to the disaster victims and that type of thing. So the like I said, it's in the presentation, what we provide is power. We have a 20 kW generator on the truck, and that provides electrical power into the center or into the shelter so that the Red Cross can power up their equipment and process information around the disaster. And then we provide the internet access. But we don't do anything around provisioning cell service or anything of that nature.
Okay. But anyway, with things like
and one thing I probably need to mention is that all of our volunteers that deploy with the truck or Red Cross volunteers. So when we deploy with the truck, we are deploying as Red Cross. We just bring an IEEE asset along to assist with the response to the disaster.
It's really nice to mention.
So is there so do you have an architecture of the bus, inside the communications architecture of the bus?
Yes. You talking about a network diagram?
Yes.
We have all that. Yeah.
Can you share it with us sometime?
Yeah, yes. It's what I can do there is get your name and invite you to one of our network meetings. And get you in touch with the network lead. We have a person who is responsible for networking, and he can get you that information.
Excellent.
It's all on the we have a Collaboratech workspace, and all of our materials are housed on Collaboratech.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Dr. Ulema if he had some additional comments, or I mean, one of the other things that I'm very fond of is this recognition of Clara Barton, who founded the Red Cross, and I'm hoping that as our initiative grows a little bit more with oral histories and other kinds of history connections with humanitarians, it would be nice to feature some more information about people who've been involved with the Red Cross, including Clara Barton, who is not only one of the founder of the American Red Cross, but she was also a patent officer in Washington, D.C. She was the first female paid as a professional, and she worked at the patent office. So she is someone very important in IEEE history as a technical person as well. She's somebody that I am fond of sharing the story about. So it would be nice to hear more stories like that, more humanitarian pieces of history.
I guess you're asking me.
Yes.
Currently, we don't have any thing like that, but perhaps I should have said that the structure we put together is pretty flexible. You know, it's already volunteer driven, right? I mean, these structure we have will survive when we have the volunteer to work on. And it can grow, it can shrink depending on the participation. So if there is an interest, we can easily form a new group to work on that. I think that's an excellent idea, excellent suggestion. So I'll take a note. I'll bring that one up to our first meeting.
Sure. I mean, one of the cool things about your talk that piques my interest this year is the fact that you're closely engaged with standards. Because I think whatever you do, even, as you say, it's member limited, right? So
Right.
over the years, there may be some topics that are lost or become less active, but those don't go away as needs, especially in public safety. But when you preserve them in standards, they have a longer life and a greater impact. So I'm very grateful that your organization is closely connected with the standards because that goes beyond just the moment.
Yeah, another hat that as a volunteer, IEEE volunteer, I wear is the standards. I am actually currently the director in ComSoc, Board of Governors, responsible for standard development in ComSoc.
Mhm.
And also
Um,
I'm very
I'm
active in with Standards Association as well.
I'm on the board this year too, the IEEE Standards Board.
Where? In the ComSoc?
NESCOM. Yes, NESCOM.
NESCOM. NESCOM. Okay.
NESCOM.
Yeah,
In the IEEE Standards
Mhm.
Board.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, great.
Mm.
I was on NASCOM for a number of years for the past, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. But
Mm.
that's a great committee to be in, to know what's going on, new standard, new project, new proposals. Great.
Yeah. So we should.
Mehmet, can you send us a copy of the white paper, your 2021 white paper?
Okay, I will.
Mhm.
We just we just released a white paper about our standards involving EMB, Engineering and Medicine and Biology. And we're preparing another one right now on continuum of care. So it'd be very cool to catch up on all these white papers and see how they
Mhm.
fit together.
Yeah, one of our co-chairs is from EMB, that society, Carolyn.
Yes, yes, I noticed. She's the head, I think, right, of the standards from last year. Is she still the head this year of
Not
EMB?
standard so much, I think, for our public safety technology initiative co-chair.
Mhm. Are you talking about Carol Carey?
No, Carolyn McGregor.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else have? Is anyone else able to unmute? Grayson is not able to unmute. That was at 7:30. Are you able to unmute right now?
Yes, I'm now unmuted.
Do you have any comments or questions?
No, this is a great talk tonight. Both our organizations do a lot of humanitarian work, and our missions overlap a lot between what MOVE is doing and what the Public Safety Technology Group is doing as well. So it's a great relationship, and we certainly continue to grow. We're growing, MOVE is growing internationally, and public safety is growing. And if there's interest in volunteering, there's plenty to be done. So we're always looking for additional help.
Excellent. Thank you. And the newsletter will be coming out soon, I understand, right, Loretta?
You
So
should
people,
know, Kate.
so we should be mindful that we can share our newsletter across Region 1 and Region 2, so these folks that are on our call tonight can keep up with what's going on, and they'll be able to share this information with their friends. So other people will become interested in volunteering. And Victor, do you have some closing remarks?
Oh, yes, I do. I would really like to thank Mehmet and all the others that gave the talks. I believe the other person is Mark. So
Yes.
I'd like to thank Mark. I would like to thank Mehmet. And I believe Grayson had a lot to do with this as well, and you, Kit, as well. I think that disaster recovery is going to be with us for a very, very, very long time with climate change, and it's never going to end. And I believe that you have taken two, I guess, two countries, India and, of course, Puerto Rico is not a country, but the US and India. And I'm sure the rest of the world will be very anxious to to really participate and get your services, especially in Africa and in Latin America, in South America and Caribbean. So
Thank you
to
very
all
much.
of you.
Yes, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. And if you have ideas about future topics you'd like to hear, please send them to us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much to everyone.